Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Love to have these folks on. They are one of our more frequent guests. We can't shout out enough of the great work they do in there for the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. My longtime friend and colleague, Neil O'Connell, Executive Director of the memorial. Always good to see you, Neil.
Absolutely. Good to see you as well, Drew.
You always got to hip to your hop and all that, especially when you bring in Trevor, Wessman-Lavelle, the marketing director. You talk about enthusiasm. This guy bubbles enthusiasm. How you doing, Trevor?
I'm doing well.
Very good. We're going to call you the
as always.
We'll call you the bubbler. Joined by my co-host, and that is Kristen Fogel, in her third year now of helping me out on the Spotlight and the Community Show, which I'm so grateful. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc., and I know you love having these guys on.
I do, yeah. I've missed the last couple, and so I'm happy that I'm back and they're back.
Yeah, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so for, the two people in San Diego that don't know what you do, can someone take us through the mission of the organization?
Our mission of the Mount Soledad Memorial Association is to honor veterans and preserve their legacy through educating the public on the service of our men and women in the U.S. Armed Forces. We do that through a number of channels, one in person at the memorial, with the only memorial in the country that sits at 950 feet above sea level that has plaques that have the photos of our veterans defining their service and describing their sacrifices. We also have a very, very outward community effort in bringing people to the memorial to educate them, whether that's through our Veterans Day ceremony, Memorial Day ceremonies, and other get-togethers that we host.
It also makes you folks unique, and we talk about it a lot, and we shouldn't ever make sure we get through an interview without talking about it. Are you the only memorial that goes ahead and shouts out folks who are still living?
Yes, we are, Drew. Absolutely. That's the other unique feature about the whole entire mission is some folks think that this is a place of inurnment or internment, but it is not. It is a living memorial that will remain in perpetuity at the top of Mount Soledad.
What's great about that, Trevor, is the fact that now you're going to be able to recognize a veteran, no matter what, they're World War II, which are getting a little thin these days, of course, right? And as Neil knows, my father fought in World War II at Guadalcanal. Or whether it's talking about Korea or Vietnam. But the fact is, now you can show them while they're alive how you're recognizing what they've done. Talk about that.
I'll just go straight to an example that we had last weekend. We hold veteran honor ceremonies for those who choose once they purchase a plaque and a plaque has been installed. And just last week we had a 100-year-old veteran in Major Robert Bartow, who served in both the he served all three of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And his plaque had been installed some time ago, but his family thought it was time and to do so right around his 100th birthday. And he was honored. We hosted the event, and Quilts of Valor presented him with his very own quilt, and he was ecstatic, of course. As a 100-year-old man. It was a limited event, but an incredible honor for us to welcome his family and to celebrate him and his service.
I can't imagine what emotions he must have been feeling. Now, here he is up there at this beautiful site, Mount Soledad, and surrounded by, folks that love him, obviously his family, but all the people are on those plaques, okay? Did he walk around and take a look at the plaques at all?
Mm-hmm. He did. He spent a bit of time, but I think it was more the presence of his family and his friends who were in attendance, supporting him, honoring him, celebrating him for what he has done for our country, and of course for us to be a part of that is extremely humbling and extremely gracious.
Yeah, that's a story in itself. Neil, you got a big event coming up on November 8th. Talk about it.
This is one we always look forward to, Veterans Day. This is a celebration of the service of our veterans, all eras. This will be an in-person event at the memorial on the 8th of November at 11 a.m. And this year, to wrap in together with the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps, we will take a real close look at the impact that the services have had here in San Diego dating back into the early 1900s up to this current day. And Drew, I mean, your involvement with our veterans organizations and our active duty get-togethers around the town here, you know very well that this relationship has just grown and grown and
absolutely,
and over a period of many decades here. But if you go back in time and you look at it, San Diego was really started, quite a few of these communities were started right at the tail end of World War II. But people don't realize, though, that back in 1912 and 13, the first Marines and sailors were here in San Diego forming bases, North Island and MCRD San Diego. So we will convey that message from that point to present day and really hone in on the impact that the military has had in our community, the wonderful impact it's had, economically speaking, as well as helping build our community.
Well, 250 years is quite an accomplishment, to say the least. There's no better place to celebrate it than San Diego, as you mentioned that as well. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in our region, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's the arts, whether it's financial literacy. Just so thrilled to have back in our studio Neil O'Connell. He's the director of Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial, joined by his colleague, the marketing director of the memorial, Trevor Wessman-Lavelle. Honored to have us sitting next to me. She's in her third year now being a co-host of our Spotlight on the Community Show. Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen.
Yeah, so when I think about you guys, in addition to the fact that you celebrate not only deceased veterans, but living veterans, is your amazing volunteer base. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Absolutely. We are built on the backbone of volunteerism. I think right now we're roughly at about 71, actually. We have to call out our oldest volunteer. We nicknamed him Bottom Gun, but Bottom Gun is one of our most dedicated volunteers. Comes up to the memorial near daily to wipe down the granite walls and plaques. But yes, the volunteers that we have not only are present every day at the memorial for as many as 6 hours, providing information, tours, anecdotes to the history and the legacies of the veterans that are up there. But they're also supporting our events. They're also supporting our administrative duties in office. And they're putting in upwards of near 5,500 hours a year, ensuring that we are doing we're fulfilling our mission of honoring those veterans.
Well, and what's great about that, besides the plaques, you guys have now been doing red bricks now for how long now? How's that been going on?
We started the bricks right around 2003, shortly after our first 6 walls were put in.
Right.
And yeah, they're a hot item. People want to have a brick in honor of their loved one up there or their organization, and that is a very easy process.
Yeah, and my dad's got a brick up there, and we really appreciate that as well. And it's sort of a living tribute to him and everybody that has done this. Neil, you hit something that is so spot on, and you can add to it as well, Trevor. Kristen's heard us talk about it. The footprint of the military in San Diego is is everywhere. Whether not just the fact that they contribute like $55 billion of indirect spending or $36 billion, I think those are the numbers in the latest SDMAC Military Economic Impact Report of direct spending. Imagine where we would be in this community without that type of money coming into this community, especially in 2008 when we had the meltdown in the economy. But on top of it, I think what's great about this, maybe you can chat about that, and both of you, thank you for your service, is you guys serve, as you're proving right now, more than once. Yes, you serve to protect us here and abroad, but Neil and Trevor talk about it, but you're also involved in our community. You're on boards, you're in community groups, you work with schools. Talk about that.
Well, one of the key facets of service in the military is you learn to work with everybody and you come together for a common goal, whatever that objective might be. And what you're seeing, for instance, right now, Drew, is with the current situation of funding for our military families, you see an enormous amount of leadership and organization to help offset this. Look at David Boone with SDMAC and the Armed Services Y and STEP and Tony and all these organizations come together. But back to your question about, how and why do you get to this point in your life when it comes down to post-service involvement in the community? It's because, for one, you've got this passion for working with people and building teams, as well as bettering the community, trying to make a positive impression and help people out. Each one of those organizations I mentioned has a broad dashboard of great accomplishments and things they're working on a regular basis. If we can participate and pitch in at any given point along the way, we're more than happy. We're proud to. We feel we have a different, unique opportunity with our base because most of the folks on those walls, which we talk about 6,600 plaques, 10,000 stories, all of those individuals, the family members, the donors, they believe in that same cause. They understand the needs of the military. They understand service. They understand sacrifice. So they're ready to help as well.
Yeah, and I don't think we can talk about that enough. I know it's near and dear to Kristen's heart. She volunteers at a lot of things, I know, and it's very important for as she gets ingrained in the community in a variety of aspects as to see this. And it's infectious in a very positive way. People need to sit there in this day and age with so much stuff going on. Could talk for 10 hours about what that stuff is. Need to collaborate, need to get in on this. That sounds like such an obvious statement. It doesn't happen as much as it should. When we come back from break, Trevor and Neil want to talk about something that near and dear to my heart and Kristen's, and to be remiss if we didn't. You guys are continuing to grow your relationship with the schools and making sure that the schools are aware, whether it's K-12, whether it's the colleges, whatever, that know how important the memorial is and what it does is a history standpoint and so forth. And we always save time to, what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Donate, volunteer, contribute, you name it. When we return with our good friends, Neil O'Connell and Trevor Wessman-Lavelle of the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. This is another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast. We're in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things for us folk living in San Diego County. Always a pleasure to have the unbelievable content that is shared by Neil O'Connell and Trevor Wessman-Lavelle of the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial, joined by my co-host in our 3rd year of helping us out in the Spotlight on the Community Show, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Riders, Inc. Before I turn it over to Kristen that's got questions for you, Neil, we can't talk enough about how you folks are continuing to ramp up your involvement in the schools.
Thank you for that opportunity. That is I'd call it the gold nugget of our ethos. What we see is this opportunity to have the children come to the memorial and learn about the service of their men and women that live right down the street, their moms and dads, their grandfathers, their friends' fathers and mothers, etc. In fact, right now, we are in an immediate need for a person to be our education program coordinator. So thank you for teeing that up for us. That is a very rewarding position. We had a wonderful person working on that who since had to leave to take on a new assignment. So this involves bringing these children from various parts of the community for an hour or 90 minutes to the memorial, not only to learn and see the memorial for the first time, but to see the geography of the beautiful city and county of San Diego. Mm. And for those who have never been to the memorial, I would challenge you today, this weekend, go up and see a sunset, see a sunrise, come up in the middle of the day. You will find no other view like it anywhere in the city. But what we do is we take the children and show them the North Coast, explain to them what that land used to be, what it is today, and highlight these iconic institutions that surround our city. You look right down the bay to the beautiful city skyline. You look a little further, you see the bridge, you see the USS Midway. You look to the east and you see Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. You see the beautiful mountains in East County. And it's absolutely just extremely exhilarating. And for young ones to learn this and see this for the very first time, many for the very first time, it's just extremely rewarding. It's very rewarding.
Well, it's all inspiring as well. Kristen?
Yeah, I think that's so important for the children to come and observe everything that you just discussed. Also, can one of you speak a little bit to all of the events that you host up there?
Absolutely, yeah. That is one of our biggest areas of impact. We're hosting over 80 events.
That's huge.
Year.
Wow!
And these events range from small pinning ceremonies to promotions, reenlistments, and even retirements to our big flagship events in Veterans Day and Memorial Day. We also host, just a couple of weeks ago, actually, we hosted our Members for an Appreciation event during the air show. We're able to give them one of the best vantage points to watch the practice runs of the Blue Angels on a beautiful Thursday afternoon and host them for a couple of hours. But those events bring people to the memorial and give them an opportunity not just to be there, but to hear from us as the custodians and as the storytellers, but also from the keynote speakers, the experts from our events, veterans themselves who are pronounced on our walls, and it just elevates the experience and really amplifies the mission, gets the message across that the life of service is something worth worth sharing.
Absolutely.
First of all, do you guys sleep? I mean, you sit there, and Kristen and I have talked about this. You got all the visits by the schools, you got the major events, you got the other events, and I don't want to call them minor because they're important to the people that put them on. People tend to forget that, and so forth. You're constantly looking to advance yourself on this. That's one that's so impressive about both you, Trevor and Neil. It's you never let anything rest underneath you. Moss will never grow underneath your shoes. I want to get back to the education coordinator position, which is so critical. Is that posted on your website?
We're actually getting ready to put that out on the channels to our contacts within the community.
Okay.
And we've got offices in Kearney Mesa, and it requires a little bit of work in the office as well as on site. And it is a very rewarding position.
Right. So will that be up in the next week or so, or
it will be on LinkedIn,
okay,
as well on our site, as well as through our office network. Yes.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, if I was that age to retire, I mean, I'll probably retire in about 20 years. So I won't quite be at the 100-year-old mark of the other guy over here, but that is a great position to take this education coordinator. There'll never be a dull moment. You'll get a chance to, work with folks like Neil and Trevor and, the staff, which is phenomenal. I think that's a great opportunity. Do you not think so?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a great cause. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll start with you on this, Trevor. What can our listeners do to continue to support the phenomenal work of the memorial?
First and foremost, I'm going to start off with the experience. If you have been up there, share it. Bring people to the memorial. Mm-hmm. That is the greatest opportunity for impact. Secondly, visit our website and look at the different ways that you can participate. Come to the events. Become a volunteer. We are always looking for volunteers, especially docents, to spend time and to share those stories that are up there. And of course, any opportunity to support us financially. We're coming up on the end of year. We've got Giving Tuesday, which is just going to, literally on the heels of Thanksgiving every year. And then, of course, year end, always opportunities there to support us. We are we're a private organization. We are not federally funded in any degree. Mm-hmm. It is through the kindness and the graciousness of our both corporate and our private donors. Everyone who is on the mountain and chipping in a buck into the boxes up there, to some of those who are giving us of their greatest wealth. That is a huge opportunity for us to continue on our mission, which, as we've all been discussing, is absolutely honorable.
And I want to capitalize on something that Trevor talked about, and Chris and I bring this up quite a bit on our Spotlight show. There's no such thing as too small of a donation. We just want you to get engaged. And if it's $1, if it's $5, doesn't make a difference. You're now engaged in the memorial. It'll change because once you get up there, you just can't get away from this thing. It is just so much to support it. Neil, what else can we do?
Well, first of all, thank you to you and your team as well. In Classroom of the Future, congratulations.
Thank you.
That would be an awesome opportunity as well to integrate some of our efforts. There's wonderful education nonprofits around town that are all doing things great for children. And, we invite that opportunity to work with these wonderful people, the leaders of these groups. We look forward to seeing the public on the 8th of November. It's a beautiful, beautiful ceremony every year. It runs about an hour and 10 minutes. We have 2 off-site parking locations at the top of Mount Soledad at the Presbyterian Church and the French School right across the street at Soledad Mountain Road and La Jolla Scenic Drive South. We've got shuttle services. It'll be a beautiful day. We'll have a flyover of 6 aircraft, the Marine Band, the Color Guard, some very, very impactful speakers, and it'll be wonderful. Jason Austell of KUSI Fox 5 will be our MC, and we'll have a beautiful day. We hope to see about 1,500 people from the city, from the public. Bring your friends from out of town, and come on up. It's open to the public, free of charge.
Well, Neil and Trevor, we can never have you on enough. But this is a cherished organization. Your memorial, you guys work very hard on this. Your phenomenal staff, the volunteers, which are the bread and butter. You guys love shouting out the volunteers as well. So knock them dead, as you will, on November the 8th, celebrating 250 years of the Marines and the Navy, of course. And thank you both for your phenomenal service. Kristen, any final words?
No, thanks for the good work you do, and I'm sure we'll see you on the show again soon.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.